We are live. Okay, this is gonna be really bad. This camera's gonna be terrible to set up, bro. This is actually gonna be terrible. Hold on, let me close my door real quick so that the noise doesn't get out easier than it should. Can't really close it all the way because of it's fine. Alright, okay, so dude, I wish I had like a longer plug for this because this is not very easy to work with. Just trying to get the camera set up right now. Okay, so I think it's set up. Alright, okay, so this stream is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be storytelling about the time that I spent at my camp that I went to. So basically, let me get some of the bases. Also, like I kind of wrote a script kind of before I made this stream, so I'm going to be looking at that, and after this is over, we're probably going to do Minecraft later, so yeah, so basically for those of you who've been following my channel, you should know that for the past 3 weeks I've been off of YouTube and I was away at summer camp for the time being. Of course, since now I make videos, I have to make a video all talking about it. And the thing was, I had originally planned for this to be a series, but I just don't have the motivation to make it. I don't have the mental capacity, the patience, nothing. I don't even have the time. So, I'm going to explain this camp before I talk about it, okay? So, before you get started, I'm going to get some things out of the way. So, for those of you who don't know, I live in Houston, Texas. This camp, it was all the way up in Iowa. So, the plane ride, that was like really fun. I had to like get up at 3 in the morning on Sunday morning. I went to bed late Saturday night because I had friends over. After they left, I stayed up even a little bit longer. I watched some Unstable SMP just because I felt like it. The next morning on Sunday, I left, okay? So, in this camp, let me get some basic ball knowledge rules out of the way. So, you weren't allowed to have your phones because, like, you obviously kind of have to socialize. And that's for good reasons. I mean, sometimes it would be nice to have our phones, but some kids are not mature enough to handle their phones, okay? So you're also stuck at this place for 2.5 weeks, specifically 17 days. So there's no applications for shorter or longer sessions, so you're just stuck with one option, and that's it. You can either choose to go or not to go. The age gap in camp was somewhere between 10 years old to 16 years old, and the camp is split into 5 bunks, ranging from youngest to oldest. And the oldest bunk was it was called C-Teen, which is different from the rest, since they had certain advantages that the rest of them didn't have, since they were the older kids. So basically, these C-Teen kids, they had how do I explain it? They just had perks that no one else did. They just had extra advantages because they were the older kids, since they were more mature. And the thing about that is just I'm gonna it's good. You'll see it throughout the time when I explain it. So, oh yeah, by the way, if I don't finish this today, then I'm gonna do a part 2. So this is like a really long ass story, and it gets insane. So, all right. So let me explain what happened after I got done with the walking trip. Not the, what am I talking about, bro? After I got done with this 3-hour flight, me and my mom kind of stayed in Iowa. Okay. Let me explain this real quick. So we went to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, because that's where the bus was coming to pick us up to bring us to the actual camp was in Iowa. Okay, the actual camp was in Iowa, but we stayed at Milwaukee just because we kind of that's where we would get picked up to get taken to the camp. That's where you would like register in, buy all the camp rules and stuff like that. So, all right, so there's gonna be two different parts for day one because I got at camp at like 5 p.m. in the afternoon. So I'm not gonna consider that day one. I'm just gonna call that the intro day, which is basically me unpacking, getting settled in, getting used to the campgrounds. The next day after that is gonna be officially day one. Most people had like a different way of thinking. They usually just included the day we got there as day one, but no, I'm not doing that. So I took the camp bus instead of driving to camp. Simply just because it's easier. It's just easier. Basically, me and my mom got to Milwaukee in like on like Sunday afternoon, and we kind of just stayed the night, and then the next day in the morning we kind of just went to like the bus stop where we were going to be picked up, and there were also like check-ins there. So there were three different stations where we would get checked in. It was like to make sure people had right luggage, like right items for their medications, and making sure that everyone gave in their phones. And afterwards, after everyone that went on the bus ride was check in, the staff, they gave an announcement that everyone was ready to go on the bus. Okay, so yeah. So after they made this announcement, making sure everyone was ready, they also explained like the basic rules of the camp, and yeah, they like everyone was ready to board. So we did board the bus, and I actually remember sitting in the 10th row in the window seat on the right. And even then, it took forever for the bus to get started moving, despite how everyone was boarding. We all put our luggage away, and we were sitting there for like 30 minutes waiting for the bus to finally take off. And okay, let me get something out of the way real quick. I remember the bus exactly taking off at 12:16 p.m. So that was useful information to have for the purpose of finding out how long the bus ride took. Some of you might think it's weird, but really, what else are you supposed to do in a 5-hour bus ride? You weren't allowed to take your phones, and I hadn't met anyone yet. Because of this, I made a promise with myself to take a notebook and write every big event down so that I would remember everything that I needed to make this video, well, really this live stream. And it was actually a great idea. Anyways, on the bus, I made my first friend in camp. I met the first, I wouldn't really say friend because like we weren't close at all, and we're still not close now. Like we basically forgot about each other, so I wouldn't really consider him as a friend. We were just like cool with each other, but this was really like the first person I ever met. So let's call him Charlie, okay? So he was the guy sitting directly behind me, and right next to him was a kid, and his name was Ariel, and they seemed to be a little close with each other, but later on in camp, everyone just started calling this guy Nick A30 because that's exactly who he looked like. And plus, there was another kid in his bunk also named Ariel. So when I mention Ariel, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the other kid. So this kid I'm going to refer to as Nick A30 because that's just who everyone talked about. So after I noticed that the kid behind me, Nick A30, he was beginning to act a little goofy and strange, and I laughed it off, like thinking it was a joke, but oh boy, it was not a joke. His behavior was not a joke, as seen later on in camp. But so yeah, that's really it. Anyways, it was probably. Oh yeah, another reason why he was called Nick A30 was it was probably just another reason for people to make fun of him because of how like weird he was acting. Anyways, On the bus ride, the camp counselors announced a no snacks brought from home into camp. And this was for the purpose of protecting kids with like peanut allergies, but stuff like that. But of course, no one, not even me, followed this rule. I really don't know what the staff expected. The kids are kids, they'll do anything to get their own way. Afterwards, after 5 hours of non-stop driving, including a stop to pick up some random kid on the side of the road, we finally got to the campsite. The ride was longer than I expected since I kept hearing mixed opinions on the length of the bus ride. Some people said it was going to be 3, others said 4 hours plus, but it didn't matter. So we were finally here, and it was time to get unpacking. The campsite was interesting, to say the least. Here is a map representation of the camp if you need it, because yeah, this is it right here. But yeah, so yeah, I got a copy of the camp map, and I kind of took it back home just to make this stream. So that's fun. I'm just gonna cover up like the address and location and stuff like that because I don't really want to dox this camp. But yeah, that's the map. You can go back to that for future references. Anyways, we had to climb up a long hill after we got off the bus and then started unpacking. It was a really long hill, and after we made it to the top, we were greeted with like the camp counselors and the with like and like we were also right there next to this massive dining room building, it looked like, because I'd been to camp like 2 years before this, so this was like nothing new to me. So yeah, so the thing about this is I'm just gonna like go over. I have this notebook right here, and this notebook, it's just gonna have a ton of events in it, and in these events are everything that happened at camp. So I'll try to be a little quick. If I don't finish it during this stream, then I'll continue on for the next. So on the intro day, which is the day we got there, after we, oh wait, no, this is the wrong one. Oh, okay, so I'm here. So we got there at 5:30 p.m. It was somewhere between 12:16 to 5:30 p.m. So after we got there, they took all of us, and we went to a place called the amphitheater, which is like just like a general word for like a gathering, or I don't even know like what the definition of an amphitheater is, but you know what it is. You know what an amphitheater is. I know what it is, but like it's one of those things where you can't say it in words. It's like an area where you like everyone gathers around to like talk or listen to announcements, and that's exactly what we did. They were like giving announcements of they basically just said the main thing that you had to take away from this speech was basically just no bullying. That's literally it. And of course, listening to the future events in the story, no one, and I mean no one, followed this rule. Okay, it gets bad. Okay, so after this like announcement, we were introduced to our bunks for the first time. I ended up being with the C-Team group, which is like the oldest group in the entire camp, like that has like the perks and stuff like that. So the thing was, I met my bunkmates for the first time, and I didn't know anyone. And apparently most of these kids were like kids that have previously been to the same camp. This was my first year here and my only year here. I'm not going back next year. It's not like it was a bad experience. It was actually a really good experience, but I don't know. Just something about them. They just felt different. Like, and not in a good way either. They just like felt like one of those like that group of kids that you just can't like connect with. You can't really talk to. But I'm lucky to say that throughout the rest of my time in camp, I was wrong about that. So we were introduced to our bunks for the first time, and we started unpacking. And after that, we headed to the dining room to eat dinner. What they fed us for dinner was hot dogs and fries, and they also got up to announce that we are going to be taking swim tests. Now, let me explain what these swim tests are. This camp, it actually has a pool. It has a pool. It is like a pool for all the campers to use whenever the schedule lines up for us to use the pool. Luckily, we were able to use it like pretty frequently, but they actually, and this was actually a pretty smart thing in my opinion, they had us take these swim tests the day we got there so that we could be divided up into people who are allowed to be in certain areas of the pool and not allowed to be in others. So let me explain it. It was pretty simple. The people who can't swim, they are the white. The people who can swim but not advanced, they're red. And the people who are advanced swimmers are the blue swimmers. Basically, the way this worked was the pool, there was a shallow end and a deep end, and there were like spots that were marked the like the edge of the concrete next to the water. It was like painted red, blue, and white to like divide the area into the swimmers, to like where the swimmers are allowed to be. And there was like this line of, you know what I'm talking about. It's this like line that goes in a bowl, like this floating line with stuff on it. It's like that thing that keep people in one area. It was separating the blue side and the red side. It was basically separating the shallow and the deep. So we got changed and we went to the swim. We went to the pool. We went to the pool for the first time, and we had to walk through these bathrooms to get to the pool. And these bathrooms were the most disgusting thing this was like worse than a porta potty. And this example is actually going to be used later on in the story in like 2 days from now. But anyways, we took these swim tests and I barely ended up making it to the advanced swimmers. The reason why I barely made it to advanced was because they had us do float. They had us like float and tread on the water, and I'm not really good at floating. But anyways, after I like made it to the blue team, I did not feel satisfied for some reason. I just like felt like that this was like the perfect time to like rethink life or something like that. I don't know. But after that, oh yeah, the water was freezing. By the way, that's another reason why I was not wanting to do anything. The water was freezing, the sun was setting, and I was ready to go back to the bunk and do like just chill. And so I pack my things and I start to leave the pool. And I start walking down these trails. So the thing about these trails is that they're very wooded, they're very dense, and this was my first day here, and I was walking by myself, and it was basically nighttime. So after I got to the trails, this was when I started to like realize that this was actually a really bad idea. I should not be here. I should not go down these trails. I don't know what animals are out here right now. I've never been here before. So luckily there was like a group of like 5 or 6 kids who were in my bunk, and they had the same idea that I was. They had the same idea that I had. They basically wanted to go back to the bunk. So me being me, I just decided to like stick with them. And the whole entire way to the bunkhouses, they were just yelling. They were just not yelling, but they were just yapping their mouths off about Bonnie Blue and anime. It's like specifically Dragon Ball. I don't know if like, I think that's an anime. I think, but like they were saying, like, what if Bonnie Blue just comes out of the woods and diddles all of them, like brutally diddles all of them, and it was like the funniest thing ever. And like when we got to the bunkhouses, there were like two counselors sitting outside, and they were like, everyone was like telling the kids to just be quiet, be quiet. We don't want these counselors to hear us. We're gonna get in trouble if they know we were talking about this. And one of these kids, being an absolute genius, just decides to scream Bonnie Blue and run to the bunkhouse. And it was like the funniest thing ever. But I don't know. After we got to the bunkhouses, since we got there early, we decided to take a shower, and we did preparation for lights out, which is basically going to bed. So And after I went to bed, this was like the worst thing ever because these bunkhouses, they actually had no AC. And this was actually a valid thing to complain about because both years I went to camp before this, there was at least AC. There were at least bathrooms and stuff in the bunkhouse, but there was no AC in this one, and there was no, like, relief to the hot air. So, I mean, at least it was nighttime. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention the roofs were, like, metal, and so the inside of this bunkhouse was basically turning into, like, an oven because of this roof, as well as everything else, just because of it being a hot day. It was really hot, despite this being up north in Iowa. It's like, it was terrible. So, at least when I went to bed, I was cooled down enough to actually try to go to sleep, but I did fall asleep, and I had a ton of dreams that night. First of all, I had a dream that, like, I, like, revisited my old house or something. And I also had another dream where I was like with my friend Nubex, and we were like caught in the middle of a hurricane, so that was fun. Uh, yeah. Oh yeah. Also, I had a dream that I was playing Minecraft with Nubex, and then he showed me around this underground house that he had made. This like underground base, and that was cool. And and then I had this dream that I was watching clips from like the Unstable SMP or something because like there was this dream I had where I was like stuck inside of a prison because I was hiding my friend's exploited armor, and he this was like exploited armor that had like all four different types of protection merged into one, which is not possible to create in survival Minecraft, and I got caught with it, and I got thrown in like the prison. And that sounds very familiar to a story that happened in the Unstable SMP. So I'm just like not gonna go there. But I was just thinking about Unstable a lot because I left to camp on like July 1st, and this was like the era whenever Wembu was like we were waiting for him to upload for like a week or two, and I was thinking, yes, by the time I get back from camp, Wembu would have uploaded. There's probably gonna be so many episodes I have to catch up on. Parrot's gonna upload, Spoke, Flame, they're gonna upload, and by the time I get back, the only person who uploaded was Flame, and he made one video, and it was like we're still waiting for Parrot and Wembu to upload today. Neither of them have. Bro, we're not going to talk. Everyone's saying that Wembu has taken forever to upload, but no one's going to talk about how long it's taken Parrot. But anyways, I don't know why I'm talking about the Unstable SMP now. So anyways, this intro day, I would give the enjoyment rating 4 out of 10. It was not fun. The only good thing about it was like listening to these kids yap about Bonnie Blue and Goku, and this it was I just didn't know anyone yet. It was just yeah. Anyways, the next day I woke up, and this was officially day one. This was Tuesday, okay? So I woke up, and we ate breakfast, and they fed us Cheerios, and and then we had this like class, and the way to describe this class after the breakfast, this was like just to like catch up on basic education or something like that. But this was the weirdest thing ever because out of everything to talk about, the counselors decided to talk about how corn ruins everyone's lives. I'm not even kidding. That's what the counselors decided to talk about in this class. They just decided to say how corn ruins people's like marriages and lives and stuff like that. I mean, it's not wrong. It's probably a good thing to talk about, but why that? Just choose anything else. Anyways, after this class, we had a leisure time, and then the head counselor actually listened to us complain about this bunkhouse that it had like no AC. And the problem with that is that there were like three empty bunkhouses next to it that had AC. So they were like, why can't you guys move us there? So they the head counselor had was like a private meeting with us, and what he decided to say was like, fine, I'll move you guys. I promise you, everything will be done by 6 p.m. this evening, and you guys are gonna be moved, okay? You guys are gonna be moved. So, after he decided to move us, he told us that the thing about us was that these bunkhouses that were next to it that actually had AC, they were like smaller, so we had to be divided up into 3 bunkhouses that were still part of the same group called C Team. Basically, what he decided to do was he was announcing who got to be with what later. So that was basically our suspense for that day. And after that, we had our first activity of camp. We had soccer. And if you know me, I'm not a sports person. I work out and I run and I swim, but like I'm not good with like playing soccer or volleyball or basketball. I'm not good at that. I just focus on raw strength training. I work out, by the way. So instead of playing soccer, I actually was talking to a kid on the way there because it was like a pretty long walk to the soccer field. I met this kid. His name was Jay, but we'll call him Jay. And the thing about Jay was that he was also not a sports person either. So this was perfect. This was like bonding time. This was like for me to get to know my friends at camp. So basically how this went down was we played, instead of doing soccer, we sat on the side, and I had brought Uno. I had brought Uno with me, and we decided to play Uno. And the cool thing about that was that there were like 3 other kids that wanted to join us that also didn't really want to play soccer. So yeah, that was fun. Oh yeah, and this was also our custom deck, so they had custom cards that were like plus 15, plus 27 and stuff like that. And I'm like, whoa, 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 no, no, no. It's like, they're like inside jokes with me and my family when we play Uno, but I just brought them to camp without thinking about the cards being in there. So what we decided to do was we decided to ban those custom cards from our little game, but it was fine. So after soccer, we ate lunch. We went to the lunchroom, and I don't remember if I ate. I don't remember what we had. I don't remember if I even ate anything, but I do remember seeing these 2 kids for the first time. And these 2 kids I know outside of camp. They also live in Houston where I do. And I'm not gonna say their names because they weren't really too relevant to the story, but it was just like kind of cool to like see them from their own perspectives, how like they spend their summer. Anyways, I saw them, and we like shook hands, said hi, dabbed each other up, so that was pretty nice. So they were also like, they weren't in my bunk, they were in like the bunk below me. So the thing, after lunch, we decided to have a snack, which was pretty weird because we had just had lunch. But after snack, we went swimming, and this story right here, when I went swimming, it was like the most memorable thing that happened on the first day, because I went to go swimming, and I'm not even gonna lie, this water today felt colder than it did yesterday, despite it being in the middle of the day where the sun's beating on us. And then yesterday it was just nighttime. You would think that yesterday would be colder, but today was way colder for absolutely no reason. They probably did something to the pool or something, I don't know. But the water was so cold that I did not really want to get in. And when I did, I kind of got out pretty soon afterwards, and after that, I kind of just sat on the side, and I decided to pull out my math work, which is basically my summer homework stuff, and I decided to try to catch up on that. But that's when it hit me. I had to take a crap, okay? I actually did not take a she for the first time since I got to camp. So there was no other option for me to take a poo other than the shower, other than these worse than porta potty bathrooms that were right next to the pool. So I took a dump in these bathrooms, and these bathrooms were the worst thing ever. They smelled terrible. Obviously, that's probably like the first thing. That's like, this is not even okay. I'm gonna be honest with you. These bathrooms are worse than your public school bathrooms, because I go to school, and I know what it's like, and this is way worse than that. Because this is like in the middle of the woods, and this is in the middle of nowhere. I mean, at least they. I mean, let's give it to them. They have running water. Props to them. But anyways, the worst part about this was that after I did my thing, I realized I didn't have any toilet paper. So what I did about that was I waited for people to leave, and then I secretly got up and walked to another stall. And I had to do this twice. I had to do this twice until I found one that actually had toilet paper. But I'll be honest, there was one that had toilet paper, but it got thrown all over the floor. So I'm never using that. These floors were disgusting. You don't know what people walk on them with. So yeah, I don't think anyone's ever cleaned this bathroom. I'll be honest. So that was terrible. So after that, we got introduced to, or me specifically, I got introduced to the game room for the first time. And this game room, it was pretty cool. We decided to play Uno and stuff. But after that, we went wood burning. Wait, no. Yeah. We did wood burning. So this wood burning stuff, it was pretty fun. I still have it, but I don't really want to get it out of my backpack. I basically made a triple spike. That's what I did. Anyways, after that, after the wood burning, we decided to have more leisure time, and we unpacked some more because we weren't fully done, because we were supposed to be getting moved. And so after this, we had to do woodworking. Now, wood burning and woodworking are two different things. Woodworking, instead of wood burning with like a 400-degree torch, woodworking was like, we decided to sand a bunch of wood because we were eventually going to make something with like, it was like going to be like a cool pen case with like a thing they told us to make this thing where you would put your pens in with like, it's like one of those pen cases, but we were going to make it out of wood. So this first day, we just decided to sand it. But I'm going to give a little spoiler. We did not do this any other time because no one else really wanted to do it. And yeah, it was really boring. It was terrible. So anyways, after that, we finally got the answer that we've been waiting for. We finally got rearranged to our new bunks. The head counselors finally told us where we would be. The first group was my friend Jacob, and the second group I was put in. So these two bunkhouses were right next to each other, and so that was pretty nice. But the problem with where I got put was, I got put with this kid. I got put with Nick A30, basically. I got put with this Nick A30 kid who was like really weird, and I also got put with this French kid. He like had a really thick French accent, and he was like the oldest kid in the camp. So he was like 16 years old, but he was like built like he was 21. So yeah, so you did not want to mess with him, as seen later on tonight, because after that we had dinner, which was chicken and rice, which I actually decided to have. And so after that, we decided to play like a little small group of volleyball, which was like, we did it in a circle. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention, there was this kid who took spray paint and graffitied on the grass. Something that we do not speak of. Anyways, after that, we took a shower, and this was definitely the highlight of the day, because during... Okay, hold on. I took a shower early because I was bored and I had nothing else to do, so the evening was rolling on us, so I took a shower early, and then I went to the game room to like play some board games with my friends, okay? And then I get back, and then everyone is going crazy. So when I got back from the game room, That was when everyone else decided to take their showers, and oh boy, this was wild. Okay, so basically, you know that kid, you know that like French built, like really built kid. Let's call him, I don't know, let's just call him Jeff, okay? And Jeff is taking a shower, and this weird ass Nikkei 30 kid is just peeking through the freaking. Okay, so I need to like explain this, like the shower stalls. They were like see through. They were like made with wood, and they were like made with wooden planks. And he was looking through the wood, and he was staring at Jeff, Nikkei 30, this weird kid that looked like Nikkei 30, so that's what everyone just called him. And so yeah, so this kid Jeff, he was pissed. Jeff was pissed. And oh yeah, also I didn't hear about this until it was like already almost over. So I decided to walk in the showers to see what's actually going on, and I just see Nikkei 30 with his hands in his pants. I'm not even lying. He had his hands in his pants, and he was just like, I don't know, bro. I don't want to talk about it, but yeah. Anyways, Jeff was pissed, and he was like bringing this up to the counselors all constantly, and he was like telling them how this kid is weird as hell, and he's like making weird moaning noises and stuff like that. And so yeah, so basically me and my new friend Jacob, we decided to just chill, and we decided to just chill in his bunk before bed because there were also like his friends were also in that bunk, so I decided to just join them. And on this day, I had no idea, but from Jacob's point of view, he had found a UV light. He had found just a random UV light and had adopted it for himself. So it was now his. It wasn't his, but it was now. So that's when he kind of revealed it to everyone. That's when I found out about it, at least. He was like shining it, and like the lights were off. So like when they would like shine it on themselves and like do a creepy smile, it was like 10 times creepier. It was like hella creepy. Anyways, after that, we finally got sent to bed, and that night I also had another dream about unstable SMP. And this dream was I had a dream that we were just in Highwater City, and I was just walking, and I was with Parrot, I was with Theo and Egg Chan, and we also like ran into Flame Frags, who was just doing his own thing. I don't know. But I don't know why I keep having these dreams, right? Like I think about unstable just way too much. Anyways, okay. Before I move on to day 2, which was Wednesday, I would give this day a 6.5 out of 10 for enjoyments, because it was like better now that I knew more people, and pretty funny, especially with the showers. Okay, anyways, on day 2, it was Wednesday, and we woke up, we had breakfast. This one was chocolate chip pancakes, which was basically type 2 diabetes, but I don't really care. Anyways, everything got brought up to what Nikkei 30 has been doing. This was like the main talk of everyone in camp about what Nikkei 30 had done last night. So the thing about that was he had also, I did not know about this, but he had also called another kid in our bunks. He called him, he said he has big ears, and he kind of bullied this kid for having big ears. And it's not even something to be like offended of. It's just really, really annoying. And you know how bullying's like strictly not allowed in that, right? In camp, right? So we didn't really want to snitch on him. I mean, he did, but I didn't, and no one really felt like snitching on Nikkei 30. They just kind of felt like they could deal with it himself. So the thing about what they decided to do with Nikkei 30 was they decided to bully him back instead of reporting it. So basically what we did was, I was also a part of this. We gathered some bugs, and we decided to put it in his bed. So after that, we had another class just like yesterday morning. It was also about the same thing as yesterday, so I'm not going to talk about that. But we also, during this class, we had just wandered off doing whatever, and we also found giant millipede. It was like the most massive millipede I've ever seen. And so we decided to take him because we weren't really allowed to watch over him from the counselors. So we just like hoped we put him in a cup, hoped he wouldn't escape. But by the time class was over, he had escaped. So yeah. So after this class, we decided to clean up. This was like the cleanup time of today, of Wednesday. But for me, this was making it a little bit messier because this was when I decided to put the beetle in Nick A30's bed. And since him and I were in the same bunk, that's why I decided to do it. And when I did it, it did not take long for him to walk in the bunkhouse and notice and start cleaning up his bed, start cleaning up his sleeping bag, and he lifts it up and he finds the sleeping bag. He finds the bug under the sleeping bag. And so, guess what his reaction was? He had no idea it was anyone who did it. He blamed it on everyone else leaving the door open, bro. There were like 5 people in our bunk, including a Down syndrome kid, which I forgot to talk about because he wasn't really a main character. But yeah, in our bunk there were 5 kids: me, Nick A30, Jeff, a Down syndrome kid, and there was also this kid. His name was Jaden, and he was let's just say he was the black kid, which there's nothing wrong with being black, but of course there's going to be a lot of jokes surrounding him just because of, just because of his existence. So yeah, so he basically blamed Nick A30. He basically blamed everyone else for being the cause of this bug ending up in his bed for leaving the door open, which is hella funny. It was hella funny. Anyways, after this, we had the pool. We could go to the pool, and this time I actually got in. It was not as bad as yesterday, which was good. And then after the pool, we had lunch, which was lasagna, which was amazing, just like breakfast. Anyways, after lunch was definitely one of my favorite activities that we did throughout the whole camp. We decided to do a ropes course, which was really fun. And we did this ropes course, and it was only like me and 5 other kids who actually wanted to go on this ropes course because this was like 50 feet up in the air, and it was low-key sketchy as hell. And there were several other kids who wanted to do it, but they just couldn't. They just like quit midway through because they realized that they couldn't do the rock climbing wall, which was actually how we got up there to the top in the first place. Anyways, that was the first highlight. And the next part of the story is that after we were just chilling, doing our own thing after we finished the ropes course, we were talking about Nick A30, of course, since he was like the main topic of everyone talking in camp. And the counselors come up to us and they're like, dude, what's your problem with talking about Nick A30 like this? And we're like, because he's so annoying. He's just like so annoying, and no one's doing anything about it. He's so weird, and no one's doing anything about it. You guys are just like defending him, saying he's just like having his moment or whatever you guys say. And the counselors, they were just like, you guys should just be nice to him. If he's weird, then just be a little nicer, and then maybe he'll stop being weird. Maybe he can learn to fit in. And of course, we were like, we've tried being nice. It's not working. And of course, oh yeah, Jeff was also in this conversation, and he was like, running his head off about how Nick A30 did the thing in the showers the previous night. You know what I mean. Anyways, after that, it got so bad that we had to be brought to the head counselor for him to get us to change our schedule. That was the main topic. That's what he wanted to talk about because apparently the kids didn't like this. Most of the kids, okay, so let me get this out of the way. Most of the kids did not like the ropes course because they just didn't like climbing. So the few of us who did, though, including me, we were like highly against that. So that brought us to the head counselor to get us to change the schedule. And he also mentioned that we would do something about the Nick A30 kid. But long story short, he just told us to do our next activity, gather some firewood because we're going to prepare for a bonfire. So that was pretty fun. So we decided to gather firewood, and I felt productive doing that. Anyways, after we were done doing that, we went inside of the bunk and we were just chilling. And this is where this kid gets introduced. This was the same kid that screamed Bonnie Blue's name that on the first night that we were here. We're gonna call him, I don't know, let's see, we're gonna call him Ben, okay? And Ben decided to play a pretty nice game of Would You Rather. Would You Rather. And this Would You Rather game was not innocent by any means, and everyone was just laughing their ass off because it was like so funny. Because if you know what I'm talking about, you know the type of questions that he was asking. Anyways, after that we had soccer again. We played Uno. I played Uno with Jacob and Jaden and another kid. Anyways, that was fun. So, also, this was the point where I started to get closer with Jacob because I discovered that he liked Minecraft just like me. But it's not like one of those, it's not like a nerdy thing that he likes Minecraft. But the thing is that he likes Minecraft horror, which is interesting because, like, he was like always talking about how he always wanted to play a horror mod. He wants to play the Verity mod and stuff like that. And not just Minecraft horror, but horror in general, just like analog horror, like The Boiled One or Doctor Nowhere, and people like that. He just like enjoys horror because there's this like sense of thrill, and I do too. I like watching horror. I like watching Doctor Nowhere because it's pretty. Yeah, there is this thrill. There's like, and I also like watching like people who like commentate on horror, which is it's pretty nice. So him and I, that's another thing we got along with. We also got along with talking about Minecraft, which was Minecraft and horror. So we got a little closer because of that. And we played some more Uno and we had dinner. And I'm not even gonna lie to you, they fed us chips for dinner. For dinner they literally fed us chips. And during free time after dinner, I got my first impression of the third group that the bunks got separated with. And this was where the other drama got put into place. So during this free time, this was my first impression of the third. I said this already, but me and Jacob were just chilling with each other, and then we just decided to leave the hut. That's what we're gonna call the third one because the third bunkhouse literally looked like a hut, so we're just gonna call it the hut. So that was the hut first impression. So after we decided to get our first impression of that, we decided to walk out, and we noticed something interesting that's written on the bunkhouse. So on the hut, there was something that was clearly spray painted, or sunscreen painted, or spray painted, or something like that. I don't know, but it said, "Help me." It said, "Help me" on the bunk. So we were actually kind of concerned. What if someone's actually lost in the woods and is looking for help? Should we, like, find them? And then we decided to leave that site, and we go across and to the other two bunkhouses where we stayed. And we also saw "Help me" written on the bunk. I saw that one. And this was getting to the point where I was like, okay, this is getting really, really weird. So we should actually, like, talk to someone about this, okay? So, and then that's when we see it. This kid, Ariel, he's carrying a bug spray. And he goes over to the bathroom. He goes to the door, and he sprays on the door with bug spray. "Help me, he's touching me." And so we're like, yeah, now we know who's been doing this. So, yeah, that was interesting. And, yeah, I forgot what happened after that, but, oh, yeah, I remember now. So, basically, there was this kid who locked the door, of the bunkhouse, and this was not fun because, and after this, because, wait, no, I think this was when Jaden was asleep, and he was just by himself in the bunkhouse, and he was just sleeping, and no one else was able to get in the bunk because no matter what we did, we could not wake him up. But we all knew that he was awake. He was clearly just not wanting to. He just did not want to open the door. He was like pretending he was asleep. So after this, the counselors declared that we are never allowed to lock our doors again. But there were problems with the doors where they just like self-locked in the future, so that was pretty bad. And then later the counselors came to us with a deal. They said that if we shower before 9:10, then we can go to the nearest gas station to get whatever we want. So this was obviously amazing. So we all got showered and ready before 9:10, and we went to a place called Quick Star, which is basically this is like the gas station, the convenience store of Iowa. So when we got to Quick Star, we kind of got our own things and did whatever we needed to do. And so that was pretty cool. After that, we got ready to go back to the camp. This was like a mini field trip, by the way. But when we went back, we got pulled over. I'm not even kidding. We got pulled over by the cops because one of the counselors like didn't have their lights on or something like that. I don't know. I guess it was like some legal issues with driving, having your lights on at night, because like this was 9:10 at night. So this is actually probably closer to 10 p.m. But anyways, we got back, and I went to sleep that night, and I had a dream that I was at my friend's house, and there were like missing kid reports all over, because like how you walk around a neighborhood and you just see random posters like say missing cat, missing dog. It was the same thing, but it was a missing kid. And then we were just walking around, just talking, just doing our own thing, and then we actually see this kid, and we're like, wait a second, that's the kid, get him. So we like try to approach him, and then he just runs away. So we try to catch him, and then he just runs. So that was fun. I also had a dream that I was chilling with my friend Wabbit Season. He's my friend on Discord. He's playing Daisy right now, but anyways, okay, the next, I would rate this day 9 out of 10 because this day was like really fun. Anyways, okay, so day 3, this was Thursday, and there was like a shortage on food today because like I guess a shipping didn't come in or something like that, so we did not have very much fun today. So I woke up and I couldn't find anybody. Everyone was genuinely missing, and anyways. Yeah, okay, so, I couldn't find anyone, and then I finally found them near breakfast time, and then, after that, our class of the day, it was about history, like basic history, those United States history stuff. That's what we were basically being taught by these counselors, so it was a good thing that we were being taught that because they finally decided to change the topic of what they were talking about the 2 previous days. So that was a good thing. That was a very good thing. And after that, we decided to make rubber band balls. You know those rubber band balls that like people can like handcraft? Well, we decided to make that ourselves because that was one of our activities, and it sucked. We were terrible at it. There was this kid though. Let's call him, I really don't know what to call him, but there's just like, let's call him Ryan, okay? We're going to call him Ryan. And Ryan was actually pretty good at this. Ryan was like aura carried almost, I don't know. Anyways, after that, I was just chilling with my friend Jacob, and that was the day where we got our first letters from our parents. So that was like our first contact within the first like 4 or 5 days since we've been at camp. So that was fun. And then since we were bored doing nothing, there was a storm that came over us. There was there was like a tornado watch almost. And there was, since we had nothing to do, since we couldn't go anywhere, we were stuck in the bunkhouse. He decided to make a comic book. So he did, and then I decided to make a comic book about my own ideas. So I did. So that was pretty fun. So I genuinely took a nap after that because I had nothing else to do. And then after I had woken up, the storm had passed, and then we got brought down to, they had brought and got down to the art room, and this tonight was movie night. So since we couldn't do anything today, we decided to have movie night tonight. So that was fun. So we'd watched Madagascar, and we'd almost finished it, but we didn't really finish it. So most of those kids had already watched Madagascar, but I actually hadn't. So that was pretty cool. So we had mac and cheese for dinner that night, and we finally got another shipping in of food. So yeah, so we went to bed that night, and I had a dream. This was like a wild dream. Anyways, I had a dream that I was with my father, and we were at like a shop. I don't know what kind of shop this was, but it was like a bar or a cigar place or something. I don't know, but it just kind of had that vibe where you know what it is, but you just can't name it. But anyways, him and I were standing there, and there was this guy who walked in, and there was just like something that was off about this guy. This guy was like, he like, he we both knew, we both looked at each other, we both knew that there was something bad was about to happen. So I decided to leave before it did, and just starts, this is the guy that was acting suspicious, that we knew that there was something wrong with him. He starts to shoot up the place. So he basically turned it into a Fortnite Battle Royale lobby. So what my dad decided to do was they both got into a gunfight. So that was fun. I guess that was a crazy dream. Anyways, I also had another dream that I was playing Minecraft with my friend Nubex. So yeah. Anyways, day 4. Okay, no, never. Wait, I forgot. Hold on. Okay, so the enjoyment rating of day 3, this day with the food shortage, was 4 out of 10. We basically did nothing. It was boring as hell. Okay, day 4. This was Friday. I woke up and we were chilling. We had breakfast and we had cereal and oatmeal, and we had class that day, so that was cool. And we also had another mini field trip after that. So we went to a baseball field, and instead of playing baseball, we played kickball. And that was another place, because like that's another place where we can go often, that has a bunch of soccer fields, baseball fields, and stuff like that. And if you know how to play kickball, you know that kickball and baseball are like basically the same thing. So they decided to play kickball. Of course, I did not play kickball. Me and Jacob, we made our comics some more. We actually got a long way through them, so that was I felt pretty productive doing that. Anyways, after that we had lunch. They genuinely fed us bagels since they're poor. Anyways, after that we had basketball. The first time having basketball, and instead of me and my friends doing basketball, um, we decided to explore the woods. Yeah, so that was fun. I explored it with Jacob, and now this was the point in the story where another kid in our bunk was starting to become more and more close to me and to Jacob, specifically to Jacob, but because of that, he was also getting close to me. So we'll call him Slow Mo, and Slow Mo, we're gonna call him Slow Mo because he's like slow mo in the head, not actually, but anyways, that's cool. Thing about Slow Mo is that we just decided to explore the forest and stuff like that, and so that was fun. And after we did that, we went to the game room, and they went to go explore some more, and then I just decided to chill and write. I just like decided to chill and write about my experiences, which I'm like currently reading right now, which was pretty smart of me to do, I think. But then I had to take a poo again, and so I did. And after I got done, I had no idea where everyone went, so I got reunited with everyone, so that was fun. Oh yeah, and we also found a massive millipede, and we named him Jeff. Despite that one kid in our camp also, we're gonna wait. That may have been why I called him Jeff, cause this millipede. Anyways, we named this millipede Jeff, but we're not gonna talk about him too much. So when I say Jeff, I'm most likely referring to that kid who's built like he's 21. Anyways, that afternoon, we made cinnamon rolls, which was fun for people who like cooking, but not for me. Um, anyways, I got caught after that. There were these two kids that were extremely close with each other, and no one liked them. They were so annoying, and they were like the nerds and the snitches of the camp. They weren't even like weird. They were just so annoying. They were like rage bait. And the thing about them was that they just snitch on anything everyone does. So I got caught by them eating my snacks, and they reported it to the counselor, and I got them taken away. So, yeah, that was fun. Anyways, we went to the pool after that. So, this was actually a pretty funny story because we had chilled in the pool, and me and Jacob got out. We were like done, pretty much done. And after that, we were just chilling, doing nothing on the table. And then Jeff, kid who walks over to us, and he just looks at me and he says, "You look a little bit too dry to me." And I'm like, "Okay, wait, what does that mean? I don't like this." And so what he does next is he grabs my arm and tries to drag me into the pool. And we're like, whoa, 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 no, 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 no. We just got out of the pool. Chill. And of course, this kid's like big and strong, so there's no really fighting against him. But luckily, I'm also big and strong, so I was able to fight against him a little bit better. But then I got really lucky, but my friend didn't, because my friend, he was like trying to defend me, like, we had just got out of the pool, bro, just chill. He got out of the pool, and then he does this really quick, like 90-degree turn with his head, and he looks at my friend Jacob and he says, "You look a little bit too dry to me." So he lets go of me and he starts grabbing him, and there's no fighting against him. And the thing about Jacob was that he was a slim guy. He didn't really have much muscle mass, no offense, but he couldn't really fight back. The thing was that I was trying to yell at Jacob, "There's no fighting back. Just try to take off your stuff so that it doesn't get wet." So he was able to do some of that before he got inevitably thrown in the pool by Jeff. So that was fun. He was just like messing with us. He trolled us, I guess. So anyways, that night we had a big banquet dinner because it was like, I don't know. Anyways, it wasn't really a big banquet dinner, but I'm just like, it seemed more formal than the rest. But anyways, they had this program on Friday nights where they would tell us, there's this option, okay? After dinner ends, they tell us you can either go to bed, go back to your bunkhouse, but you have to go to bed, or you can stay up with us and chit chat for a while. And so, of course, most of us chose to go to the bunkhouses to go to bed. But the thing was, if we went to the bunkhouses, we would have to go to bed. There is no staying up. There is no getting around it. But of course, knowing that these kids are kids, no one, and I mean no one, went to bed. So we were goofing off in the hut, and it was funny as hell, bro. These kids were making like moaning noises like hella loud, trying to wake up these coyotes and who knows what spawns in these woods, but like I don't know. Anyways, counselors finally come and finally get escorted to bed. So, anyways, that night I had a dream that we were just like gambling. I don't know. That's it. I had a dream that my friend was just gambling. I don't even know why. He was like playing on this weird mobile game and doing stuff like that. I don't know. Anyways, I would rate this day 7.75 out of 10. It was pretty fun. Anyways, next day was day 5. It was Saturday. And so we had breakfast. We had cereal, which was not regular cereal either. It was like the type 2 diabetes cereal that you would only see in like the diabetes stores and stuff like that. I don't know. And we also had the cinnamon rolls that we ate from that we made yesterday. So yeah, type 2 diabetes. Yay. And anyways, after that we we um we were chilling in the game room just because we were doing our own thing. We wanted to play a board game. So with the game we decided to play this time, we finally decided to take a break from Uno and we decided to play a game called What Do You Meme? So I'm sure you all know what this game is, but unfortunately this was the family friendly edition, so it wasn't really that funny, bro. And plus these memes that were on What Do You Meme, these were the most 2010 memes I've ever seen, bro. They were like millennial humor, bro. They were not that funny at all. The thing about them was that, though, after that we had lunch and more free time, and we decided to play more of What Do You Meme? Anyways, I decided to, oh yeah, wait. Oh, this is a funny story. Okay, so during the time where we could just chill and do whatever we want, this kid, Ben, and this other kid, we'll call him Evan, he was part of these two other kids who were extremely annoying. So you know how I mentioned those two kids that just snitched on everyone and were super annoying? They also had a third kid in their clan. And their clan, it was called the Toughness Trio because oh my god, they're so tough. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, this third kid named Evan, he wasn't as bad as the rest of them, but he still got pretty annoying when it got time for it, when he was in the certain mood to do that for. Anyways, when this happened, I forgot how this went down, but Ben and Evan ended up throwing water on each other and it ended up turning into a fight. Ben lost the fight and Evan retreated back to his bunkhouse to like restock on water. And so Ben came to restock on water as well, and he wanted a rematch, okay? So he goes for a rematch. They run up to each other. Ben throws the water at him. He tries hitting him, but he's like missing. And then that like gets him completely out of ammo. So he's just a big open target. So Evan just squirts all of his water on Ben. And he lost even worse this time than he did last time. So he tried to take a rematch and he lost even worse. And he was like, oh my god, you are so done. You are so done. You are so done. And at this point, Evan's probably like, oh shoot, I probably messed up. So he runs back to the his bunkhouse, and Ben restocks on water and chases down Evan more. And you know how they said we're not allowed to lock the doors? Well, I mean that's what Evan did. He basically locked the doors. I mean, what else are they supposed to do realistically? The thing was, there were no counselors there, so it wasn't really that big of a deal. But he stood there for like forever, and then the counselors finally came, and they finally had to unlock the door. And then he was hiding around the corner. And after Evan finally let his guard down, he walked out of the bunkhouse, and Ben got him good. And that really really pissed Evan off. So instead of having more fights with water, they just decided he just decided to tackle Ben to the ground. So yeah, that was cool. That was pretty fun to see. Anyways, after that we had dinner. Oh wait, no, before dinner. Oh yeah, basically there we were just after that we were chilling again in the hut, just doing our own thing. And there was this kid who was part of our conversation, and he was a little too innocent to understand what we were talking about. And long story short, bro, they said one of the kids said like gangbang or something like that. I don't know, gangbang. And so basically, Jeff, this kid, he goes like everything, explaining everything what a gangbang is to this little kid, completely ruining his innocent mind. And in the middle of this conversation, the head counselor just walks in on us, and bro, everyone is just dying, including me, bro. It was so funny, bro. Because Jeff didn't even see him when he was talking about what he was. And so, what happened after that, it was like he got caught. He got caught in 4K talking about something that he shouldn't be. So, that was funny. Anyways, we had an ice cream party on. Oh wait, oh I remember this. Oh yeah, after dinner, that was that was the evening of 4th of July. So we had like a big 4th of July celebration in the amphitheater. So like, respect America and stuff like that. I don't know. Anyways, that was fun. We also had an ice cream party alongside with that, and we took a shower and then we went to bed. So that was cool. And I also had a dream that my friend's brother, bro. My friend doesn't actually have a brother, but I had a dream he did in this case. And his brother, in this dream, he was like a bad kid. He was like a thief. I don't know how to describe it, but anyways, he like crossed paths with my father, and my father was not happy with him. Anyways, I would like rate this day 7.5 out of 10 for enjoyment. Anyways, day 6. This was Sunday. We had breakfast, and we had cereal, and we had like another field trip after breakfast. So what we decided to do this time was we took a bike ride to the Quick Start, which is the gas station. And I got Mountain Dew as my drink. I don't know why, but I just have that written in this notebook. I don't know why. Anyways, on this day, we had lunch, and I actually managed to finish my comic today. So today was the day where I finished the comic, and so that was pretty cool. So they also had we also so after lunch we decided to like chill in the game room to play What Do You Meme and Uno and just do whatever we want. But then the camp decided to have an event, a special event, a special activity. Basically, what they had us do was they had us do a cook off. They gave us like certain ingredients, and they had us make whatever we wanted with it. And the bunk was divided into 2 teams, and whoever made the better food for the counselors would win. So basically, during this, I got stung for the first time in like what 5 years. So that was fun. And so after I got stung, um, we also lost. We also lost the cook off, so that was fun. That was really enjoyable for me. I got stung, below my knee on like on the other side knee, so that was pretty fun. Anyways, after that, we decided to have another field trip, and this one was to Walmart. And this was like the grand Walmart field trip. Anyways, the thing about this Walmart trip was that it was different though. this Walmart trip, this was not the only time we went to Walmart. This was the first time. We also went a second time, but that wasn't yet. So during our trip, we got Gatorades. I got Gatorades, and they were actually good ideas because they were enough to me over for the rest of camp. So that was really good. So it was really productive. And after that, um, we also had like a little dinner party for some reason. I don't know why. And oh yeah, slow mo. He was like, I just noticed in the corner of my eye that he was cross legs like a girl, and I just decided to put that in the notebook just because I felt like it. Was I okay? So yeah. So after that, I was just chilling in the bunk with again, and we took a shower, and we took bed, and we went to bed. So this night I had a dream that I my friend's birthday party, and yes, it's a she, by the way. And that's important to know. So the timeline of the story happened oddly specifically a week, a whole week after I had gotten back from camp, which was like the whole time I was there. I was like, how did camp go by this quickly? There's just no way. There's no way it's already been a week since after I got home from camp. And spoiler, it's not. It's just a dream, and that's probably why. But anyways, in this dream, I was just in the park, and then I just happened to run into my social studies teacher, and he was just like, "How was camp? Oh my gosh, it was." Oh, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, he asked me, "Do you have any more plans for the summer?" And I'm like, "Actually, yeah, I have to go to." So I look at the invitation real quick to see when it was, but for some reason it had already happened. I basically had missed my friend's birthday party, so that was weird. That was odd, and so I'm glad that when I woke up, that was not the case. So on day okay, no, not on day 7, but on day 6, which was this entire day that I just spoke about, I would rate this day 8 out of 10 because it was pretty cool. It was like pretty fun with the Walmart trip and everything. Anyways, day 7. This was Monday. Oh yeah, and this was the grand field trip of the whole time at camp. So basically, I woke up that morning and I had a really bad whatever reason. Anyways, I had breakfast and we had cereal and pancakes, and for um for the class, counselor taught instead since the main one wasn't available, and it stayed that way for the whole time at camp. So, and then we got called to the bus to go on our grand field trip. But then that's when we realized that Ari, which was the kid responsible for the Help Me drama, and the kid who was also responsible for me like being taken away for snitching on me, no one really liked him. And now it was noticed that he had completely, I had no idea why, but he had left. He left camp with like telling no, and but the bad thing was that his like friend, his buddy, was even worse than him. He was still at camp, so we kind of had to deal with him. Anyway, on this bus ride and this field trip, this was all the way back up in Wisconsin. So yeah, that was pretty. Um. Anyways, a stop. We stopped at the Mississippi River between the Iowa Wisconsin border at a park to have lunch, and I'm not even kidding. I don't know if you guys know what fish flies are. I don't know if any live in like Ohio or Iowa or any of those places like that, but let me just search up a picture of fish flies. Disgusting thing ever, bro. Wait, no, wait a second. Wait, no, this is like fishing bait. I don't know. Wait, bro. I just fish. Oh wait. Okay. So there are some pictures of some of the fish flies like everywhere. Look at this. Look at this. These are all bugs everywhere. It is like terrible. It is so disgusting for no reason. And the thing about these bugs are that they're completely harmless. Insect. Yes. Come on. Come on, bro. There's got to be some images somewhere. They're still showing up like, yeah, they look like this. They look like this. They're completely harmless, but what they do is they like sticking to wood, and what they do is they just land on you, and they don't do anything. They just land on you, and it just like tickles. It's not fun at all. But these things were everywhere. They were literally everywhere. You could not do anything. And I'm not seeing any other pictures. There was a better picture I found where it completely covered someone's car. But yeah, so yeah, that was fun. Anyways, after that, we continued the bus ride, and we finally got to Devil's Lake State Park of Wisconsin. That's where the field trip was, and it was pretty fire, I'm not gonna lie. And so after that, we decided to wait a second, I'm on the wrong page. Hold on. Yeah, so we arrived at the camp at at the state park, and we set up our camp at the campsite we were staying at, and then we had our first impressions of the bathrooms that were nearby. And oh boy, these bathrooms were so nice. If only the camp bathrooms were just as good as these, bro. If only it was the other way around, bro. These bathrooms were so much nicer, bro. Despite it being a state park, completely public in the middle of nowhere. But, I mean, for today for, like, people to clean it, so that's fair enough, I guess. Anyways, we went to the lake. We went to the actual Devil's Lake itself to go swimming in it, and that was pretty fire. It was like we found a ton of. Oh yeah, my friend Jacob. He found. What's it called? He found. He found these like. Souvenir. He found a souvenir for his time at Devil's Lake. He found this like rock that looked like a shark tooth, so that was fun, I guess. Anyways, after we got back from the lake to the campsite, we had dinner, which was hot dogs, and we had a shower, and we were just chilling by the campfire after that because they lit a bonfire because of that. And then the most crazy thing happened after that. Basically, I hear scream. Okay, no, this is what happened. Me and a group of my other friends that I made at a camp, we decided to leave, and we had decided to go to the bathrooms to just go chill. And someone had literally dropped a log on the cement. This was not dog. This was not a dog shit, bro. This was actually like human. This was genuinely human. And bro, there were like it wasn't even just us. There were like other college campuses that were like encircled around this as well. They were just like they were just like talking about it, and everyone and bro, me and my friends were just like coming up with conspiracy theories that I don't even know. I'm not even going to say, bro, but it was crazy. Everyone was screaming, waking everyone up next to them. And we kind of got yelled at, and so yeah, so I had left early, and luckily that was a good idea because my friend got in trouble. The thing was that Jacob had not come with us, so just so you know, but it was Ben and a few other kids that would just like surrounded this, and I had left early, and then as I'm coming back, I see the head counselor walking over to them, and he asks me what's going on, and I tell him what's going on, and he like kind of gets everyone else in trouble. Everyone got in trouble, bro. I'm so lucky that I wasn't caught being a part of that because I would have got in trouble too. But anyways, I actually was lucky enough to be able there combination with like the tent sizes and stuff. So I had got moved from my tent to my other to the other tents. It was actually a really really good thing because I was with my friend Jacob and Slomo, um, and we were basically just talking the whole night. It was fun. Um, yeah, that night I had a dream that there was this huge raccoon that was near our tent. It was like in the same setting, the same time that my dream was in, but I had a dream there was this huge raccoon that was like near our tent, and we were just trying to like stay quiet and stay put. Anyways, I also had a second dream that this camp that I had went to, and the camp two I had went previously, had like collaborated and had like a meeting, and we had also like I had also met the kids that I had saw last year, so that was fun. Anyways, day 8. I would rate yesterday 7.5 out of 10, but it would have been higher, but it's lower because of the long and boring bus ride. This day, we woke up and we took down the tents because like that it's just an overnight trip. And then we decided to go. We went rock climbing. It was actually fire, bro. I made it to the top of the rock climbing, which was amazing. And this rock climbing was like 60 feet up, so it was like really high, really sketch. Um, and I was bored and I had nothing else to do. I was like one of the first people who had gone on the run, and so and we were staying there for a long time too. So after I was done rock climbing, I had nothing else to do. So I was hella bored, and then that's when it hit me. I should probably go sneak down to the I had a plan, okay? I was gonna go sneak down the mountain to our truck to get my backpack so that I could bring it up and like cuz I had heard that we were not allowed to bring our backpack up, but apparently we were, and I didn't know that. So I was going to go down, and I had got to like the area where we like walk down the stairs down like walk down the steps to get down to the bottom of the mountain, which was like a few feet off the ground off of the Devil's Lake. But while we were there, um I had ran into like a group of people who had just came from the bottom. So that's when it hit me. They would not want to go back down again to get something again. So anyways, I snuck around past them and I went down to the bottom, and just for me to realize it was locked. It was locked shut, and I couldn't get my things, and my things were all burning in this 125-degree hot furnace, this oven. And that really pissed me off, and I had to go back all the way up. So now that I had nothing to do, I actually decided to sneak away again and go climb even higher to the top of the mountain, because this was just where the rock climbing was. We could go higher. So I decided to go higher, and I eventually got to this point to where I could actually look over all of the rock climbing, and I could also like get to the top of where it was. So that was like really cool. It was like really nice, and there were also some counselors that had run up there as well, just to do their own thing. But yeah, that was fun, I guess. Anyways, after that, we had got brought down from the top of that mountain by a group of people to go eat lunch. This was like a mile walk away to the other side of Devil's Lake, and we were gonna go to a place to eat lunch, okay? So while we were walking there, we were just like talking about stuff and stuff like that. I was having like a really weird conversation trying to answer some weird questions that Ben had for me. So that was interesting to say the least. And the bus ride back to the camp was interesting. Wait. wait a second. Why? Wait, hold on. Okay, no, I'm getting too ahead of myself. We were still walking to the place. We're gonna supposedly go eat lunch, and we're just walking. And I decided to just get a little bit ahead of them, and then I see it. There's this girl who's just tanning with like barely any clothes on, and I know exactly what's about to happen, bro. These kids, they cannot be mature, and I just decided to get ahead of them because I already know what's about to go. I already know what's about to happen. So, bro, I got ahead of them, and bro, these kids could not be mature, bro. They were just laughing. They were just shouting "yacht" and stuff like that, bro. They could not control themselves. And I didn't want to be a part of that, bro. I just ran away because it's like one of those things that you. It's like one of those things that you would just. It's like one of those things where you would die of cringe for. So basically, after after that we actually finally arrived to the place where we ate lunch, which was lasagna, so that was fun. And then we had the bus ride back to camp, and so I actually decided to take a nap. And I took a nap while everyone else behind me was running their mouths, yapping heads off Sophie Rain. I'm not even kidding, bro. They were just like, how much money do you think Sophie Rain makes a year just from her OnlyFans? And I was like, I'm not gonna be a part of this, so I'm just trying to sleep and do my own thing. Luckily, I actually managed to fall asleep and sleep for like 2 hours before we already get past the Mississippi River. Anyways, so we get back to camp and we have dinner. I didn't eat it because the food was nasty, and I also got a letter receiver again for my parents. So that was another good contact area. That was the second letters that we've gotten. So, anyways, that night we had a trip to the laundromat to go wash our clothes, since apparently we can't wash our clothes at the camp since they don't have the money for it or something, I guess. But, anyways, the laundromat was actually just so happened to be right next to Quick Star, which was really cool. So, we went to Quick Star again to get some more stuff, and that was fun. And then and now because we were the only bunk that went on this laundromat trip and to Quick Star. So the counselors had announced to us that the next day is gonna be a day called Color War. Color War is just a thing where the camp is just divided into two teams, and they like compete with each other to I don't know, to just be better or something. I don't know. But anyways, the thing about this color war was that they had appointed us the oldest bunk. They made us the captains, meaning like we're not gonna actually be part of the color war, and instead we're just gonna be part of like I don't know. We're probably just gonna do stuff that's like that like it's the stuff that gives up. We were basically the captains. We were basically the people who give out like the prizes and stuff like that instead of actually participate. That because like we're doing this for the sake of the younger kids, okay? For like the 10-year-olds, okay? So that night I had to take a sheet again, and this time I ended up clogging the toilet, and I got really pissed because you know the toughness trio, right? You know the three kids who were in the toughness trio. Ariel, one of the kids, left, but his friend, we're gonna call him Max, and Max was even worse, bro. He was even worse than Ariel. And the thing about Max was that he decided to yeah, Max was just blaming me for making the bathroom smell bad. He was just picking on me, just trying to like find a reason to just piss me off. So let me tell you right, now, the bathroom did not smell bad because of me. Okay, this bathroom had already smelled terrible because you know it's the camp bathroom. It already smelled terrible before I clogged the toilet, and he blamed it. Bro, he's just trying to piss me off. Just pure rage bait. So I took a shower in bed, and that night I had a dream that I called my parents for some reason. I don't know why, but that officially marks the halfway point of us in camp. So day nine. Okay, I would rate this day 6.5 out of 10 because like the bus ride was really boring and stuff like that. Anyways, day 9 was Wednesday, and that's when they finally announced the color war. That's when they announced that the color war is gonna start for everyone else in camp. So, um, we all through everything we did throughout the day, bro. It's just, I swear they're only doing this color war thing just to separate us. I guarantee that's probably the only reason why they had us do that. So, for breakfast we were separated. We had cereal and eggs, and after breakfast we were just chilling in the bunk doing our own thing. And then that's when it happened. I like, bro, Max was just being too much, bro. He was being too much, bro. I actually just like, I couldn't deal with it anymore, so I just decided to leave. I genuinely just decided to like leave the area where he was in. So, um, anyways, after that, so I talked to my friend Jacob, and we're walking to the class because we're about to have class again, and I'm talking to him about how annoying, bro. Like Max is super annoying. I'm talking to him about Max, and Jacob. We're walking, and in the middle, in mid sentence, bro, he gets stung. He gets like stung in his foot by like, I don't even know, bro, but it was like painful. Anyways, we had class, and bro, I'm not even kidding. The topic was about the Israel-Palestine conflict, bro. I'm not even, I'm more of a pacifist kind of person, and I don't really support anything that's going on in the Middle East right now. So I don't really want to be the person to talk about like the conflict with Israel and Palestine and all that stuff going on. I talk about it. So yeah, that's what the class was about, and I did not really feel too comfortable. Anyways, anyways, during Colored War, we uh we had lunch after this event. So for lunch they fed us fries, like French, and after that we went to the pool, and that was pretty fun. And I also actually pushed in Jeff, so that was pretty fun on my part. Anyways, um, after that we really just, oh yeah, we made a song. After that we tried to make a song to represent our team in Color War, and whoever made the better song would win. And I was not a part of it, bro. Like, cause like the songs that I got there a little bit too late, but the song that they had already made, it was corny as hell, bro. So I was like, I'm not gonna be part of this. So instead, what I did was I decided to draw a GD layout on my notebook. So that's pretty cool. After that, we decided to just chill and play What Do You Meme with some of my bunkmates, my friends. And after that, we had dinner. And during dinner, we finally had these song presentations. And after that, after these song presentations, um, okay, let me backtrack. Okay, let me backtrack a little bit. So, during when we were playing What Do You Meme, there was this other kid who was with us. His name was David, and he was black. Okay, so the thing about him being black, it's gonna be important for later. There's nothing wrong with being black, of course. It's normal. Anyone who's black is a normal person, but that's gonna be important to mention later because I think the counselor is low key racist. Anyways, this kid was not in C team. He was not part of our bunk. And so when he got caught by the head counselor at our bunk, bro, he actually ran from them. And during whenever we had these like song presentations, bro, he got in hella trouble with these counselors. Now I mean, I was just like sitting there trying to like support him and stuff like that. But this counselor was not holding back anything, bro. I swear, bro. he didn't do this with anyone else though, which is like starting. It tried to like get me to think that what if he's like a little racist or something like that. I don't know. It was a real possibility. Think about it. Anyways, after the song presentations, we had dinner, and we had rice, and oh yeah, it started pouring rain, and that's whenever we decided to run back to the bunkhouse in the rain, and we got all wet, bro. We got all wet, and that was fun, I guess. We ran back, and I slipped, and we took a shower in bed. I also had a dream that me and my friend, we had to crash at a house. We were like in the middle of nowhere, so we just stayed at this random person's house, bro. Anyways, yeah, that's really all my dreams. So today I would rate it 7.25 out of 10, okay? So day 10, Thursday. This was really good news because when we were eating breakfast, I had actually got the news that Max, the really super annoying kid, had left. And this was amazing, bro. Because, like, after he had severely rage baited me into doing a ton of stuff, bro, he just, like, did all that and left. It was all, like, for nothing, bro. I guess he just couldn't handle, like, 7 more days at camp. Anyways, we had cereal, and Color War had officially ended, but they didn't announce who actually won the Color War until later. So during we had volleyball after breakfast, so that was whenever I decided that I should make a new comic. And this new comic, this comic is going to be about the camp, actually. So I decided to make that. I started to get started, and I still have it. Let me get it real quick. It's in this backpack real quick. I have it. I'm not gonna read the whole comic to you, but I'll like show you the cover. It's really nice. I feel really proud of it, by the way. So it's like it's called Keeping Them Trapped, and there's me, there's Jacob, and there's my friend Zelda Fan 64. Anyways, it's basically this. It was a prison, which everyone says it basically is, because no one like has good at it. Anyways, so after this, we did go to Quick Trip again, and we had like another field trip to like the gas station. I don't know why we had so many. This is like the 5th one already. 7-Up, so that was fun. Oh wait, no, this was the 4th time we went. Anyways, this trip to the gas station officially marked the 1-week countdown of us being at camp because we were leaving in a week. So, anyways, lunch, mac and cheese. We had mac and cheese for lunch, and almost everyone on the list. So let me explain what the list is real quick. If anyone does anything, then they'll get put on this list where after lunch you won't be able to go to your to stay behind and talk to the counselors about what you did and stuff like that, bro. Almost everyone was on the list. I was not, but I was the day. Explain that real quick. So alright, okay, so after lunch we went to school, and that's when they announced who won Color War. That was Blue Team. Oh wait, I forgot about this. Right before the pool, we also had a carnival. Like this was like some really weird thing, I don't even know. But during this carnival, I was paired up with Jacob, share it with all the other kids and stuff like that. I don't know. But during this carnival, I got stung for the 2nd time, and this time it was in my finger, and this one was like really painful. I don't know why. Anyways, the next few hours are like really sad, low key, because Blue ended up winning Color War, like I said. We went to the pool and they announced that Blue won Color War because I was on the red team. I was not on blue team. And so I basically lost Color War, which I didn't really care about anyways, but it's just something that you only care about when that's like the main topic that's going on, you know? And oh yeah, they also gave a presentation of a school that's affiliated with this camp that's for us to go to like next year. And after we got advertised to go to this camp, bro, oh yeah, I like explored the woods after that because I was just bored. And that, oh yeah, some kid decided to celebrate a birthday party at this camp, so they celebrated it by having a hot dog and burgers dinner and stuff like that. I don't even know. And so basically, everyone was just like partying and dancing inside, and I'm not the type of person to dance, you know. So I'm like really bored and I want to leave. So I leave when me and like three other kids are just chilling outside, doing whatever. It's me, Ben, and us. We're just chilling there, and then the head counselor catches us, and we just decide to run for no reason. I don't know why, but this was why I was next day because we weren't really supposed to run away. So, oh yeah, and this was whenever we received the news at 30, the kid who was acting hella weird during the beginning of camp, he had left, and which is crazy because this was like the fourth kid who left our in camp. And oh yeah, there was also his friend Charlie. I forgot to mention he was the first person I met. The thing about him was that during Color War, when I like gave him prizes, I figured out that he actually watched the stable. So I gave him tickets just for the sake of watching it. So that was really funny. Took a shower and we went to bed. And that night, I had a dream that um yeah, that night I dreamed that my friends that I made from camp come to my house. And I don't know why. Anyways, I would rate that day 6 out of 10 for enjoyment. Next day, day 11, we woke up really early because we had the second Grand Walmart field trip. This was the craziest event that ever happened at camp ever. Okay, so listen to this. Okay, so we were chilling in the dining room waiting for the camp counselors to pick us up. And oh yeah, Jaden and Slow Mo, they were like fighting each other with water bottles again because no one was there except for them. So we went to Walmart. We finally went to Walmart. And at Walmart, I didn't really get anything since I didn't need anything. But we're just looking for something. Okay, yeah. Also, they had this deal with counselors had this deal with us this time that if you look around and find the most expensive thing or the least expensive thing in the store, then you will earn $1 extra to spend. So naturally, what I did to do is I just looked in like the electronic section with all the TVs and PCs and stuff where things are going to be hella expensive. So I found this TV that was $999, but somehow some kid found a lawnmower that was $10,000. So I don't really know. But anyways, there was this laptop that I was standing next to, and then just a few kids start to roll up next to us. It's Ben, there's Jeff, there's Slow Mo, bro, it's like the whole Avengers, bro. It's everyone. So they come rolling up and they just decide, bro, Ben, being Ben, he just decides to mess with the computer, bro, for no reason, bro. He decides to mess with the computer, this laptop that's for display purposes, by the way. And there's like a Walmart employee, like not too far away from us, and I can see them. They could probably see us if they were looking in the right direction. So I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not going to be a part of this. I'm not going to be a part of this for when they get in trouble. And I leave for 2 minutes. I lead to the Gatorade section. That's that's like in the back of the store. That's like near to the right. I go to the Gatorade section, and that's where my friends are. That's where Jacob is. That's where Jacob is, and that's where his other friend is. His other kid in camp. His name is Geo, but he's not really a main character, by the way. But anyways, I leave for 2 minutes, and I look over, and Ben, and Jeff, and Jaden, or no, not Jaden, but just Ben and Jeff. They are running and screaming, and yelling, and basically, here's what had happened when I was gone. Okay, so whenever they were messing with the computer, um, Ben decided to type in PORN on the search bar as a joke. And then what happened was Jeff took over the computer and actually he hit enter. He clicked the website and he clicked I'm 18 and older. And the thing was that bro, everyone was like dying laughing at this point. Then comes along and he clicks the video. He clicks the video and basically this like sparked an inside joke in all of us. This was called warm up. This is anytime we talk about doing these kinds of stuff, we all call them Walmart activities now because you know anyways everyone realized because like the Walmart employees would have found it anyways and Jaden just stood there. He was just like standing there watching it. Then he was like standing there for like a minute, and then he's like, "Oh shoot, I'm probably gonna get in trouble." So he decides to run off as well, and they just left the video. They just left the video the way it was for the other employees to find, and like also the people who are just minding business shopping. Bro, anyway, that was the craziest thing ever, bro. Anyways, after that, they had we finally got back to the camp and we had breakfast and we had another class and this one was about like life advice and stuff like that. And that's was the point of camp where I decided to actually go crazy, bro. I was actually like losing it. I'm like bored. I'm bored out of my mind. And we went to the game room to play Uno and we played with the counselor and my friend Jacob. But the thing about this game was different. Every single time we played Uno, I forgot to mention this, we would play this thing called the 7 game, which is you draw 7 cards, and if you win Uno, you don't win. You get 6 cards, and if you get rid of all your cards, you go to 5, to 4, to 3, to 2, to 1. And we all go until we completed it. And because of us constantly always doing stuff in camp, we've never actually been able to finish this game. And this time, we actually finished it, which was amazing, bro. Let's go. And luckily enough, I actually ended up being the one winning. So we ended up going to the art room, and for some reason, I don't even know why, but then I get reunited with Jacob and Slomo, and I find out that they caught a snake. They caught a snake and they kept it in a pillowcase. And it was weird as hell. So I said it. So I had an idea. I wanted to prank them, by the way. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to free the snake. I waited till they left, and then I freed the snake. And then I retied the pillowcase so they would think that the snake somehow managed to escape and it's lurking somewhere in the bunkhouse, bro. Because that would be funny as hell. But then there was this kid who saw me do it, Evan, and he decided to snitch to them. That's what I did. And so, this toughness trio, I just can't stand them, bro. They're annoying as hell. Anyways, I basically dodged their confrontation by saying the counselor didn't let us have it, and so I had to let it free. Of course, that's not what happened, but that's what I had to say happened. Anyways, that day, I don't even know, bro. We had lunch, which was literally bagels and cream cheese. Can't feed us anything. Anyways, this was when I ended up being on the list, and this was a really bad time because I had to take another poo, and I actually somehow managed to escape being on the list because they said come back. So I took a poo, and then I ended up coming back, and it ended up already being over. So I actually ended up dodging the confrontation, which was amazing. So and ended basically we after that we had archery, and I pretty much cooked at it. And oh yeah, also Ryan was also really good at it as well, but he wasn't like doing much. But anyways, I got, and then they had a camp picture of everyone in camp for like the grand picture, because that's like something that they always do. So that happened, and then after that, I went to the pool, so that because like I had heard a rumor that we were going to the pool after the picture, so I went to the pool, and no one was there. So I just decided to work on my comic, and I was waiting and waiting and waiting, and no one was there. I was waiting for like 2 hours until finally I see Slow Mo coming around, and I ask him what's going on, and he's like, "Yo, we're going to the pool in an hour from now. It's not happening just yet." And I'm like, "Oh shoot!" So he goes and gets Jacob, and they bring me a pizza, which was really nice of them. So W Shlomo and Jacob, but anyways, um, yeah. Anyways, we finally ended up getting ready to go to the pool, but then, bro, it was annoying as hell, bro. There was a storm that ended up rolling in, and we couldn't go to the pool, so we decided to explore the woods. I decided to explore the woods with Jacob and Slow Mo, and then they finally ended up coming back. We finally ended up coming back like an hour later, and the pool was finally able to be open. So we finally got to swim, and bro, it was like the saddest thing ever because I took on myself this challenge. I need to clear the pool in one singular breath. So, bro, I got to like 90% of the way, and then I couldn't do it anymore. I had to go up. So it was sad. Anyways, I took a shower, and and we also had Madagascar. So I we finished it. We actually finished Madagascar this time, and we started to watch Madagascar 3, but we stopped midway of that movie, and we never finished it for the rest of the time in camp. So after that, we had same thing as last dinner. We chose to go to the bunkhouse and goof off some more, but one of the kids actually admitted a secret that I can't say on stream because it'll like leak his personal information, but that was probably a really bad idea. So I had a dream that night, and that night I had a dream that grief got verified, which was sad because it's still not verified now, but that was probably the night where Doggy got 91% on the freaking TCD Diddy Party thing. Anyways, day 12, I would rate this day 8 out of 10. Anyways, okay, day 12, that's Saturday. Same thing as last week, breakfast. Oh yeah, cut for chilling in the bunkhouse, which we were supposed to be doing other stuff. So the head counselors escorted us out, but then some other kids, including Jaden and Evan and Ben, they did not want to go to whatever we were doing. They decided to go to the game room to go do whatever they wanted, and then the head counselor had to go escort them again. So I feel like that was dumb. I feel like that was dumb on their part. Anyways, uh, we had anyways that it now came the time for lunch, and after lunch, this was whenever we were actually able to chill by ourselves at the bunkhouse. So on this day, they told us they freaking got us to. Okay, I'm losing track here, bro. Bro. I've been storytelling for almost 2 hours now. I'm tired of this, bro. Anyways, okay. So all right, okay. All right, hold on. Okay. So what happened during whenever we were chilling, doing whatever we wanted, was basically, bro, Jeff, they were trying to prank again, took my shoes and he threw them on the roof of the bunkhouse, which was funny but also hella annoying. So I had to climb up there and get them again. So after that, um, oh yeah, I was talking to Slomo. We were just chilling with him. It was more of a one-on-one kind of thing, and then we get because we were like wandering off somewhere, and then when we got when we got back to like the bunkhouse, we saw that Shlomo's shoes had got thrown on the roof again, just like mine, probably by Jeff as well. So we decide that we need to climb the roof. So I climbed the roof again to get his shoes. So that was cool. So, oh yeah, this night was pretty bad, by the way. So after dinner, we took a shower, and this was a shower fight, if you want to call it one, because Mayor. Wait, what am I saying? Okay, so, bro, I think I accidentally leaked one of the kids' names by accident. Anyways, one of the kids, his name was Ryan, and you know Ryan, like that kid. So basically, there was a soap bottle near the bottom of the wall of the shower, and these shower walls, they were like super sharp at the bottom. They were like thin metal, and so he kicked the soap bottle to get it out of his way, and his heel got sliced by the wall when he tried to kick, and because like he went up. Um, yeah. By the way, he had to get stitches. That was fun. He had to get stitched. He had to go to the hospital and get stitches. So, anyways, after that, we went to bed, and I had this dream that I went to my grandma's house, and it was in the middle of nowhere in the woods. So, I was with my friend, and instead of doing anything else, we decided to leave the house and go exploring the woods some more. And then that's when like I watched this documentary about some guy that was like, it's hard to explain, but he had this like challenge of beating 50 extreme demons on top. Bro, it was random as hell, bro. I don't even know. But anyways, he died. So that was sad. Anyways, that day I would rank it 7.5 out of 10. Next day, day 13 was Sunday, and so we had breakfast, we had cereal. That's when we actually saw the stitches for the first time ever now. So after that, we had snorkeling, which was interesting because I did not enjoy it. Instead, I actually just regularly swam instead. So during lunch after that, we had mac and cheese, and the kids made rockets, like DIY rockets that I was not a part of, but they just decided to do stuff. Okay, so later that afternoon we went to the soccer field to play soccer, and we were making comics, and the counselor was sitting next to us, and he was on his phone, and he was watching this video. He was watching like Instagram posts of the other camp that I had went to last year, and I was having like flashbacks because like it was hella flashbacks. Anyways, for dinner we had spaghetti, and we made comics. We made more comics again. Oh, I remember this. Basically, we had been one of the counselor's cars by writing a whole bunch of stuff on it. There was like these kids who would basically vandalize the car. It wasn't really vandalism. The car was covered in this sandy dirt on all over the windows. So they just decided to rub their hand inside of the dirt and write stuff, whatever they wanted to write. And it was like, bro, the stuff they wrote was hella sus. So yeah, we ruined that counselor's car. And after that, we decided to go to we decided to go fishing. So the world we had to go fishing because everything was flooded, by the way. So after that, in bed, and we also had a bonfire. So that was fun. That day I would rate 8 out of 10 for enjoyment. So, oh yeah, that night I had a dream that I was able to check the GD community for the first time in a really long time, and there was this achievement that someone did. I forgot who actually managed to do it. But I think it was Adeus. I think it was like the guy who verified on Unnerfed Succubin Circles. But I had a dream that he managed to beat Succubin Circles on 60 hertz mobile, and it was like the new hardest mobile achievement ever. And I don't know if Succubin Circles is harder or easier than Firework. I forgot. Teaming list. What the heck? This is not the teaming list, bro. Okay, so if we scroll down, we notice that we get to wait, what are these? These levels are new. Wait, Cosmos is top 35, bro. That's crazy. Okay, so Succubin Circles is harder than Firework, okay? Okay, that's good, okay. Alright, so okay, so yeah, I'm done. I think I'm actually gonna be almost done with this. I might have to make a part 2 later. Anyways, after this, we basically had next day we woke up day 14 and we had breakfast, which was bagels, and we were just like chilling in the hut again, just chilling, doing whatever we want. And then we had lunch, which was French toast and kickball. And wait, hold on. Wait, no, this was not that day. Okay. Yeah, we had kickball again, and Ben wanted to play soccer, and unfortunately, that's not what they decided to do. And then that's when the camp council decided to set up a slip and slide at the camp. So when we got back, we saw that in front of us, and so that was funny. The head counselor ended up going down the slip and slide, which was, bro, like a mega magnitude earthquake. 15, bro. I'm not even kidding. Anyways, after that, we went to the pool, which was nice, I guess. And that was the day I finally made it in one breath. But despite that, that got kind of overshadowed by whenever I heard that the 2 kids that I met that were also from Houston that were in the younger bunks, I heard that they were also coming with us back home. So I guess that question's going to be answered for us whenever it gets answered, okay? You know, basically after this happened, we had archery. We had archery after that, and after this we had archery, and during archery, bro, like Jeff, you know Jeff, bro, he crashed out, bro. He like hella crashed out because the rules were like you have to announce that you're walking in the archery range, which are like valid rules, but he didn't want to follow them, so I don't know. Oh yeah, I remember. So okay, so basically Geo and Ben brought this MP3 player to camp, and this has like songs on it. So they were playing this song called Sexy Bad, and bro, they were like singing it loudly too, and it was like getting on the nerves of everyone, bro. And, like saw them being weird and stuff like that, bro. But it was hella fun. Anyways, I finished my comic that night, which was really amazing. And my friend, I forgot what his name was. Oh, his name was Gabriel. He read the comic, so that was cool. Gabriel was not from C Team. That was interesting. And so we took a shower and we went to bed that night. So that night I had a dream. I had like 6 different dreams, bro. Yeah, they're all random. They're not even worth talking about. Anyways, I rate this day 8.25 out of 10. Day 15, Tuesday. You woke up and bro, Jeff literally took my backpack, bro, and GL switched his beds with the other kid who had left camp. So after that, we had breakfast, which was cereal, and we went canoeing after that. So that was like nice. And then after that, we went swimming, and we found this yellow dodgeball, and me and Jacob thought that this yellow dodgeball would be perfect to make Verity's face on it. So we made Verity's face on it, and we were like carrying him around, like saying it's Verity and stuff like that. By the way, so after that, we went to go to the soccer field again. And this story is crazy. You guys got to listen to this one because after it was over, bro, so everyone was coming back to get water. Everyone's like hot and thirsty. So the problem was for Ben had a small the cups that they gave to drink water were really small. So instead using the cups like a normal person, Ben decided to take a gallon-sized bottle and fill it up with the water. And the person behind him, Jeff, probably thought that he was probably going to fill up the bottle and leave no more water for everyone else, so he crashed out. And it literally turned into a fist fight over water, bro. They ended up throwing water at each other, and they went hands-on, bro. And then there was this kid that got in the way, Jonathan, and he was like, dude, what the hell is your problem? And it's like so stupid, bro. Because him and Jonathan got into like a fist fight, Jeff and Jonathan, and the count like intervened before anyone got seriously hurt, was good. But anyways, yeah, that night we had a bonfire with marshmallows, which was pretty cool. And also, there was this thing where my backpack got dragged by someone's car. That pissed me off because it got caught in the door when I tried to step out of the car to get something, and they left without me. I got caught in the door. Telling a story. We're moving off on day 15 or day 16, and oh yeah, wait, we're almost done actually. Okay, hold on, let me try to finish this before I have to leave.